How many diplomas are forgotten in drawers, behind doors that never open? How many dreams are lost in the path between the basement and the top of skyscrapers? On a sweltering summer night in São Paulo, the fire alarm in the basement of the country's largest corporate law firm revealed more than just smoke. It uncovered a secret capable of transforming lives and tearing down masks protected for decades by surnames, expensive suits, and invisible alliances. The protagonist, Larissa Silva, was always trained not to be seen, but that night, the invisible became impossible to ignore. The clock blinked 2:12 a.m. Larissa, already exhausted, was picking up the last garbage bags from the women's restroom in the basement when she heard a loud bang and alarms blaring in the parking lot. In the hallway, she passed Silvano, the maintenance technician, looking wearily at the leaking ceiling.
Another leak, Silvano?
If it weren't for you to sound the alarm, this place would be a pool by now, he laughed, trying to hide his fatigue. On the way, she saw Jessica, the cook, packing up meals to take to the community where she lived.
Send my regards to Dona Maria. Tell her I'll stop by tomorrow.
In the parking lot, she saw Gustavo Ramos, a senior partner, bleeding and trying to hold himself up against a pillar while two junior lawyers argued in English. The young men didn't even look at Larissa. She was part of the scenery. But Gustavo finally saw her.
Help me, please. This folder. Hide it. They can't see.
Larissa grabbed the folder and ran up the service stairs, almost bumping into Clade, a cafeteria worker of 16 years.
Running from ghosts, girl? Suit-wearing ghosts, Clade.
In the locker room, she locked herself in, her heart pounding as loud as the alarm. For the first time in months, Larissa wasn't invisible. She was in danger. Inside the folder, contracts, documents in 3 languages, attachments with tables and stamps. She immediately recognized the pattern: fraud, and a big one: discrepant values, forged signatures, names of shell companies. But what hurt the most was seeing the name Carolina Prado, the so-called translator, newly hired, niece of Monica Prado, the administrative manager, who barely knew basic English. Memories from the past hit like a punch. Larissa had tried everything: public prep course, full scholarship to study law at USP, an exchange in France, writing awards, language courses. But at the elite law firm interviews, she always heard the same answer, in different words.
Your profile doesn't fit what we're looking for. Are you sure you want this position? You know, our environment is quite sophisticated.
One day she saw a white former classmate, less qualified, being greeted with smiles and led straight to HR. Her own father used to say,
Study, daughter, because nobody can take your diploma away.
But no one explained what to do when the doors of the social elevator are slammed in your face. At dawn, the office buzzed with murmurs.
Did you hear? The cleaning lady saved the partner. Cleaning lady? The one who's always reading during her break? Must be a lie.
In the restroom, 2 secretaries exchanged confidences.
Imagine that. A cleaning lady with a degree. Must be a lie. If she speaks properly here, they look at you weird. If it weren't for you to sound the alarm, this place would be a pool by now. No one's invisible now.
In the pantry, Lucia, a cafeteria worker with a degree in education, lamented that her daughter, trained in IT, could never get a job beyond telemarketing. Larissa was called to room 17, the dreaded partner's room.
She's the one with the folder. You even understand these papers?
Paulo Cesar, compliance, took notes. Monica interrupted.
Cleaning staff aren't allowed in meetings. It's the rule. I'm a lawyer, graduated from USP.
Silence. Right then, the veil of invisibility began to tear. Down in the basement, Jessica brewed coffee.
You don't exist to them, Larissa. They only see you when they need something, or when they need someone to blame.
Renato, always vigilant, reminded colleagues to keep everything clean and maintain a low profile to avoid trouble.
I remember when a lawyer lost her earring and made me empty all the trash, saying only poor people would steal jewelry.
In the locker room, a bulletin board displayed photos of the month's birthday people. Never a smile from upstairs. That same day, Larissa received an anonymous note.
Careful, you're meddling where you shouldn't.
Monica, are you aware that you're using your niece's shell company to receive contracts?
Gustavo confessed to Larissa.
They've threatened me, Larissa. They know my children, my address. We have to do something, Gustavo. This can't go on.
He tried to calm him, but she knew they were all at risk. In the elevator, lawyers joked.
Soon the cleaning lady will become a partner, huh?
Jessica overheard the supervisor say.
Clean properly, foreign clients notice everything.
Silvano, up on the 10th floor, was ignored by interns.
Better call someone real to fix this.
Larissa saw everything, took notes, recorded conversations. At home, she shared a room with her mother and little brother.
Stay away from trouble, daughter. They always find a way to blame us. I can't stand being invisible anymore, Mom.
Still, Larissa kept going. On Saturday, Larissa organized a secret breakfast in the break room with a makeshift cake baked by Clade. Each colleague told their story. Moses lost the chance to be a supervisor because he lacked a corporate look. Sueli, the elevator operator, was once called a door by a partner who forgot her name for 2 years. Patricia never dared to show her paintings, but that day she brought a sketch on cardboard, moving everyone. Lucia had translated a letter for the board and never received credit. Her name didn't even make it into the email. Renato revealed he'd taken a cybersecurity course, but couldn't get promoted. Everyone promised to help Larissa expose the system.
If one of us rises, we all rise.
At the end, Moses tried out a samba verse, drawing smiles. It was only the beginning. On Monday, Larissa was summoned to HR.
Sit down, please. We've received a report of information leaks. You're suspended until further notice. Ms. Monica, are you aware that you're using your niece's shell company to receive contracts?
The manager turned pale. Jessica at the door texted the Invisibles group, Larissa's being cornered, reinforce here. Within seconds, the entire basement knew. Meanwhile, interns were betting on how long Larissa would last. Clay, the cafeteria worker, received an anonymous leaflet.
Report before you get dragged down too.
But for the first time, fear was no longer greater than indignation. Paulo Cesar Compliance started investigating on his own. He saw that internal complaints increased by 600% after the meeting with Larissa. He scheduled a secret meeting with her and Jessica.
They've threatened me 3 times. If we're going to bring them down, it's all or nothing. I'm with you. I won't back down.
In the Invisibles group, Lucia warned.
HR is deleting files.
Moses sent screenshots of lawyers making fun of the group in WhatsApp chats. Patricia received a message of support from a staff member upstairs.
I've always admired your work, but I was scared to speak up.
The network grew under the noses of the powerful. The report Larissa and Paulo compiled was devastating. Almost 90% of promotions in 10 years went to upper-middle-class whites. Racist and sexist jokes were common in corporate emails. Black interns were systematically replaced before the end of their contracts. Lucia recounted the day she was prevented from using the administrative staff's restroom. Sueli said she had lost 10 kilos from going up and down the elevator all day without even time for water. Clade revealed a lawyer once pulled her hand to serve coffee properly. The worst was learning about summary firings after complaints, always justified as cost-cutting. Paulo, shocked, confessed, "I never thought it was this systemic." Monica reacted with fury.
I want all basement staff time records reviewed.
She planted false evidence in Silvano's locker. She had legals send warnings to Jessica and Renato, threatening them with charges of insubordination. In the elevator, they heard.
Now they want to paint murals in the hall? Gonna turn it into a gallery?
Clady was accused of stealing food from the pantry, just for packing meals to donate. Larissa was followed by a black car after her shift. In the group, the Invisibles decided,
If anyone goes down, everyone goes to the press.
it was open war. On a rainy Sunday, Sueli was approached by 2 men telling her not to get involved. Renato installed more cameras in the locker room. Lucia organized a support group for mental health. Patricia in secret painted a mural inspired by her colleagues' stories. Joelle, the Angolan immigrant, started giving free physics classes to employees' children. The basement became a space for culture, art, and solidarity. With each threat, the conviction grew. It was no longer just about them, but about all the invisibles in the country. Dr. Helio Mendoza, the retired founder, returned to the office. The room was packed, all partners present. Larissa, now in formal dress, presented in Portuguese, French, and Mandarin. She showed the dossier. Fraudulent contracts, payments to the manager's niece's company, recordings of blackmail, testimonies from dozens of invisibles. Jessica reported harassment, Silvano coercion, Sueli humiliation, Cleidy violence. Patricia showed her mural. Joelle presented statistics on functional illiteracy and the importance of inclusion. At the end, silence. Dr. Helio declared, "From today on, no one is invisible here." The media exploded. Headlines,
Black cleaning woman brings down nepotism and racism scheme at elite law firm.
employees of rival companies began to report similar situations.